Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hare. Jai Sachinandana, Jai Sachinandana, Gaura Hare. Gaura Hare. Nitai Gauranga, Gaura Hare. Nitai Gaura Haribol, Haribol. Jai Gaura Nitai, Jai Gaura Nitai. Jaya Radha, Madan Mohan Radha. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra. Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribol, Haribol. Jai Vishnupada Brahmamsa Parivrajakachaari Stotra Sada Shri Srimadi's Divine Grace Labai Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada Brahmamsa Parivrajakachaari Stotra Sada Shri Srimadi's Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाए। नामाचार श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जाए। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जाए। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जाए। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जाए। नवद्वीप श्री मायपुर धाम की जाए। पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जाए। गंगा माई यमुना माई की जाए। वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जाए। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जाए। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेशनल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जाए। The most merciful Lordship Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan जी की जाए। The most merciful Lordship Shri Shri गौर निताय की जाए। The most merciful Lordship Shri Shri जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जाए। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जाए। समवेत गौर भक्त बंद की जाए। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवता सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 16, entitled Praise of King Prithu by the professional reciters. Text number 11. Text number 11 on the board. Durasado durvishaha. Durasado durvishaha. Asannopi vidurava. Asannopi vidurava. नैवाभि भवतिं सक्यो नैवाभि भवतुं सक्यो वेनारन् उत्थितो अनलः वेनारण्युत्थितो अनलः दुरासदो दुर्विशः आसन्नोऽपि विदुरव नैवाभिभवतुं शक्यो वेनारण्युत्थितो नलः 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 दुरासदो दुर्विशः आसन्नोऽपि विदुरव नैवाभिभवितुं शक्यो Venaranyuktito analaha. Any Matajis? Durasadaha, unapproachable. Durvishaha, unbearable. Asannaha, being approached. Api, although. Viduravad, as if far away. Na, never. Eva, certainly. Abhibhavitum, to be overcome. Sakyaha, able. Vena, King Vena. Arani, the wood that produces fire. Uttitaha, being born of. Analaha, fire. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. King Prithu was born of the dead body of King Vena, as fire is produced from Arani wood. Thus King Prithu will always remain just like fire, and his enemies will not be able to approach him. Indeed, he will be unbearable to his enemies, for although staying very near him, they will never be able to approach him, but will have to remain as if far away. No one will be able to overcome the strength of King Prithu. Please repeat. King Prithu was born of the dead body of King Vena, as fire is produced from Arani wood. Thus King Prithu will always remain just like fire, and his enemies will not be able to approach him. Indeed, he will be unbearable to his enemies, for although staying very near him, they will never be able to approach him, but will have to remain as if far away. No one will be able to overcome the strength of King Prithu. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Arani wood is a kind of fuel used to ignite fire by friction. At the time of performing sacrifices, one can ignite a fire from Arani wood. Although born of his dead father, King Prithu would still remain just like fire. Just as fire is not easily approached, King Prithu would be unapproachable by his enemies, even though they would appear to be very near him. जय श्री श्री गौ निताय की जय, श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन जी की जय, श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्र महाराज की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनां शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणाम्। So these professional reciters They're singing the glories of Prithu Maharaj, his future activities, his present qualities, all those things they're singing. So in today's verse, it is described that he's going to be like fire, which cannot be approached by ordinary elements. Fire cannot be approached by anyone. We will be very afraid of fire. Even though the fire may be near to us, we will run away from fire because it's dangerous to come in contact with fire. One should not play with fire. That's what they say. So, King Prithu is like fire. So one may wonder, sometimes there is such confusion comes to devotees. What is that? Oh, devotee is supposed to be very gentle, very approachable. But here it is said, he is unapproachable. But he is unapproachable to whom? Unapproachable to enemies. Unapproachable to non-devotees. Unapproachable to thugs. Unapproachable to the thieves. For them he is unapproachable. For all the other citizens he is very approachable. He is like father. Like father is easily approachable by his children. So, for all the citizens he is easily approachable. But for thieves and rogues, he is not approachable. So, devotee has many qualities. He appears differently for different people. Just like Krishna appears differently for different people, similarly, devotee also has the same quality that he appears differently for different people. We have heard from Krishna book that when Krishna was in the wrestling arena in Mathura, then there were so many people who were watching Krishna, and different people saw Krishna differently. Like the elderly gopis and elderly ladies, they saw Krishna as a very dear child, and the younger people, they saw him as a very beloved, very attractive young boy. There are others who saw, demonic people who saw his death personified, Krishna as death personified. Same person is reflecting differently for different people. Some people were thinking, oh, such a small boy and these people are very ferocious, very well built up. How can they be matched? How can he be match for them? It's an unfair match. But some others were thinking, he is the Supreme Lord, these fellows are like flies. So it's an unfair match. Both way they are thinking. Like that, so we see that Krishna is seen differently by different people. Only one personality, but seen by attitude. Different people have different attitudes. Similarly, Krishna will reciprocate with them with that attitude. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham. Similarly, a pure devotee of Krishna, like Maharaj Prithu, he is also like that. If you go favorably, if you are favorably disposed towards devotional service and being good to others, he will be a very friendly king. But if someone is very notorious, he will be like death personified for them. In fact, king must be like that. The Kshatriya and Brahmana both are different. They have different functions. One should not try to become artificially a Brahmana. A Kshatriya should not artificially become a Brahmana. Neither a Brahmana should not become artificially Kshatriya. Then there will be a great loss to the society. Exceptions may be there. Like Prabhupada says that, Vishwamitra was actually a Rajarshi. But then later on he has become Brahmarshi. He is an exception. But in general, the function of a Brahmana is to be forgiving to others. When you approach a Brahmana, you should feel a shelter feeling. Even if you are a rascal. Because everyone needs shelter. Not only good people, but even if A bad person requires some kind of shelter. So that is why it is said, a saintly person is like dhira, adhira, jana, priyo. A real saintly person is equally disposed towards dhiras and adhiras. Means ordinary persons, means those who are sense controlled, and adhiras means those who are demons. For both of them he is equally disposed. He is approachable. But that we must understand, it's a function of a Brahmana. A function of Kshatriya is different. A function of Kshatriya, he should not be approachable by thugs, gundas. As soon as the gundas or these rascals, they think of the king, they should shiver with fear. Then only they will stop doing all nonsense in the state. Today we don't have such a system here. In the democratic system, everyone can do any possible nonsense and get away. They know that there is no one punishing strongly. There is no king here. Even in a democratic system, even if there is a very great offense committed, still they know they can delay that punishment by approaching the court, and there will always be litigant lawyers, and by the time the case comes for hearing, somebody will be losing interest, or there won't be proper evidence, or evidence would be burnt off. All these things can happen, and then this fellow can get away. Because there is no instantaneous punishment. So last year we encountered in Hyderabad area, there was one case. One veterinary doctor, she was waiting in a metro station or something, and 4 rascals, they came and raped her, killed her, and then burnt her in Hyderabad. It is called a Disha case. So it was such a big uproar in the city at that time. So at that time the government or the police department, they have taken certain actions, because they saw that these people are so brutal that if you give them a legal rope, they will take it fully and then they can get away. So that is why they have taken a decision. What was the decision? Somehow kill these rascals. So they have, whatever it is, they have made some fake encounter, and these people were killed. Next, after a few days, next 2-3 days, they killed. Then the whole wave of unrest in the society was put to rest. They were peaceful. But then there is another department which was very angry. The department was judiciary department. They were very angry. Any criminal has to go through our prosecution. How can you give, punishment? How can the police give punishment? If police gives punishment, then what is the need of all the courts? So in this way, they have put an inquiry commission on this. And they have done inquiry, and they found out that the encounter was not a true encounter, it was a fake encounter. So they have given report to the Supreme Court that there is a fake encounter, and suspend all the constables or the authorities who were present at that time, suspend all of them. The problem is that these people are not actually the decision makers. They were executors. The decision was made by some big fellows who are hiding behind the curtain. But the punishment is given to these small fellows. Suspend all of them. They cannot say, suspend the commissioner at that time, oust him from the service, or ask the chief minister to resign. They cannot give such judgments. They can at best say, those who are on the ground, they should be suspended. The point I am making is, in a democratic system, how difficult it is to administer justice. So that is why rapists are increasing. Even though sporadically sometimes this kind of encounters happen, still there are so many people who know very well, I can get away, whatever crime I do, still I can get away. There are so many such crimes. There is Unnao case, there is this case, there is that case in Delhi and all those places. So many nonsense they are doing and they know they will get away. So, the leadership should not give such a feeling to the robbers, thugs, thieves. The moment they think of doing a crime, they should shiver. That is the meaning of proper administration. Even think of doing something like, forget about actually doing it. So King Pruthu is like that. He is a fire for these rogues and thieves and thugs. Earlier, there was another king, Vena. Vena was different. Vena was friendly to he was sharing. All these fellows were, on behalf of Vena, they were doing all looting business and they were all sharing with each other. But King Pruthu is not like that. So, both features are required from a king. And sometimes, one time one type of treatment must be meted out, another time another kind of. So even Vaishnavas, they are said, it is said that they are called Padmati Komalaha Vajrati Kathinaha. Padmati Komalaha means they are even softer than the lotus flower, whereas they are even stronger than the thunderbolt. But whatever is needed, for some time people need very gentle approach. But if they become too belligerent, too unstoppable, too, mischievous, then they must be dealt with strong chastisement and punishment. And for that, the person should be so internally strong. Today our administration, either, local state administration or central administration, they are very, very afraid to punish the criminals. For example, even though we have a law that is, if anybody, please maintain some, decorum here. The class is going on, nobody should unnecessarily do things. So, although we have a law, the law is that if anybody kills the cows or transport cow meat or this and that, they will be punished by the law. That there is a law. Because cow is a nationally, declared, cow is a worshipable animal or something like that. Or if someone abuses anybody's scripture, there is a strong law, stringent law. But the problem is that people are left and right, they are abusing all these things and no law actually works for them. The highest cow meat is transported from Hyderabad. Do you know that? Hyderabad is the number one place for transporting beef, cow meat. But nobody does anything. I heard that in the police are very much afraid to go to Old City for doing anything. The officials are afraid. Like, for example, if you have not paid the bill, electricity bill, immediately these electricity fellows will come and cut the current here. Here means where? Wherever Hindus are there, they will do that. But in other areas where people are very blunt and belligerent, they cannot do anything, because if they walk, they may even kill them. They are afraid. Directly power is taken from the transformer, from the main lines, with no meter, which is an offense. But that's what is going on, because people are afraid. They may do something like that. So those who are law abiding, you try to trounce them. Those who are not law-abiding, you cannot do anything to them. What kind of a law is this? Isn't it? Suppose, if you don't pay your EMIs, the collection agents will come to your house and harass you. But there are big fellows who ran away from the country by taking 10,000 crores, 25,000 crores, Nirav Modis, or people like that. Nobody talks about them, nobody can do anything because they have all kinds of legal systems which are protecting them. So, punishment must be administered quickly. They say, delayed justice is no justice. Today the present judicial system is burdened with millions of cases. There are no enough judges, there are no enough lawyers, there is no interest in taking certain cases. So many cases are pending. People are dying, fighting in the court, people are dying. Sometimes some of the cases are going to the next generation. That is the judicial system. You are fighting for a case which your grandfather has filed. It's really ridiculous, it is. So, the king must be very efficient. The law enforcement authority must be so strong. People, lawbreakers should be very, very afraid to break the law. Whether it is a state, whether it is any other organization for that matter. There must be Kshatriya-like persons, there must be Brahmana-like persons. Kshatriyas, if you think of Kshatriya, the rogues must feel threatened by them, and if they think of Brahmanas, they should get the feeling of shelter. So sometimes, very rarely you will find one person displaying both qualities. That's a Vaishnava. As I said, Padmati Komalaha and Vajrati Katinaha. Very rarely. But it is better in a society if there are two different individuals, because such split personalities are very rare. Simultaneously you can be very strong and very, very gentle. It is almost impossible unless one is a very exalted Vaishnava. So both classes must be there, administrative class and intelligent class. Both classes must function in the society so that people in the society, they are happy to abide by the law, follow the law, and they should be very afraid to break the law. So that is proper leadership. So that is what we find. Why King Prithu is considered as the greatest ruler? Because he administered both properly. For those who are very favorable or who are very friendly citizens, he is very friendly towards them. Those who are law abiders, he is very friendly towards them. He was like father for them. And those who are breaking the law, he was like death personified for them. So that is what is administration. So in this pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are so many lessons for us to learn how to do administration. Whatever may be the administration of devotees or administration of a larger society. We are a smaller society and a big society. Our society also has administration. We also have administrators. We have also shelter-giving devotees. So all these things should actually bring about great transformation in the general rank and file devotees. That is proper administration. No one should feel neglected, and no one should feel that I can get away, I can do any nonsense. Few days back, a devotee was discussing with me. He was very much disturbed to see that, in any organization, suppose somebody is making an allegation towards someone else. They both are taken in confidence and that case is dealt properly. Not that any Tom, Dick and Harry can throw allegations about a responsible person, and the responsible person on whom the allegations are made, he has to all the time feel afraid, who will throw allegations at me? That's a very vulnerable position to be in, very fearful position to be in. Because you have no responsibility. You can throw about any allegation about anybody. And no one is holding you responsible for that because you have no position. In our Iskcon society, what happens? Those who have positions only, they are afraid. Those who don't have position, they are not afraid. Why they are not afraid? Because there is nothing to lose. But if you have a position, any Tom, Dick and Harry can, throw allegation and then run away. And this poor fellow has to prove that no, I have not done this, I have not done this, I have not done this. This is a ridiculous type of, system, administrative system. You have to make both sides accountable. You say that this person has done something wrong, prove it. If you cannot prove it, what punishment will you take it? You have guts to say that. And it has to be handled very confidentially. Because if somebody is throwing some kind of allegations against somebody in the position of authority, so many people's faith is disturbed when you actually insult that person, when you try to throw something which is not there. The point I am making is that no other society or no other organization handles grievances the way we are handling them. Unfortunately, this is a fact, and I am saying it sitting on this Vyasasana. It is a fact. No one handles the way we. Somebody, serves for 20 years, 30 years. Generally, in any organization, if somebody serves 20 years, 30 years, what do? They give them a garland, they give them pension, they give them, glorification, and then send them. Here, if you do that, you are thrown an allegation and you are thrown out. If this is what people who are feeling in an organization, that means our administration is not proper. It's not proper. We have to see, we have to safeguard. Same time, anybody who can do any nonsense and get away also. That is another feature of improper administration. Somebody has stolen money, somebody has done something wrong, and then they know that, anyway, authorities don't care. So I can do any damn thing. So it is not so it's not so easy. Administration is not so easy. I am not saying, we can easily criticize administration, but if we were to sit in that position, we know how difficult it is to manage a big society. Because in a spiritual society like us, what happens? Services are voluntary. Whereas in materialistic society, you can hire and fire. If somebody is not behaving properly, you can throw them easily. But in a spiritual society, when somebody came for voluntary service, Prabhupada has given instructions, don't remove, try to improve, don't remove, he said. So how to manage that? How to bring transformation in that person? So, every one of us should have a person whom we can reveal our heart, open our heart in our society. Not only in our society, in any society, but more so in a spiritual society, there should be accountability for everyone. Whether you are a full-time devotee, congregation devotee, this way, that devotee, doesn't matter. Everyone must be accountable. Everyone should be able to open his heart. You can't open heart to a big, a jury. Isn't it? A judicial persons, you can't open your heart. You have to have a mentor. Everyone should have a mentor. They should be able to open heart. They should be able to retrieve the discomfort in everybody's heart so that they don't commit more and more mistakes and offenses. Such a facility, if it is not existing, it is very difficult to bring order in administration. So, it happens voluntarily. We should voluntarily subject ourselves to somebody's scrutiny and monitoring. Who can demand? You should be, my mentee. I will ask all these questions. You should give me report, weekly report, monthly report. This will not happen. But each one of us, for our own spiritual protection, we should submit ourselves to another devotee. Prabhu, these kind of thoughts are coming. I want to be careful that these thoughts should not overcome me and I may do some mistake. Please protect me, Prabhu. Now, there must be such beautiful relationships must exist amongst devotees so that these crazy thoughts will not transform into crazy actions. And once they have transformed into crazy actions, it is very difficult to administer justice. It's a very complicated process, it is. So, where should we apply brakes? Dhyayate vishayan pumsha sangasteshu pajayate sangat sanjayate kama. That's where we have to apply brakes. Dhyayate vishayan pumsha. The moment you don't apply brakes on that, natural consequence happens. One after the other, one after the other, one after the other. Krodhodbhavati sammoha, sammoha, smriti vibramaha, smriti bramshat, buddhinasha, buddhinashat pranashyate. Suppose if somebody is jumping off a cliff, before jumping only he should think, should I jump or not? After jumping he cannot think, I should not have jumped. How will I escape from this jumping? You have already jumped. Then you have no choice now. Only God has to come and protect you. So similarly, where we have to apply brakes, we have to apply brakes. The brake is Dhyayate Vishayan Pumsha. So, when we have beautiful relationship with Vaishnavas, at the thought level only brakes will be applied. You go and reveal your heart confidentially. That is why Prabhupada said the fourth sloka. It is the blueprint for Iskcon, he said. Which one? Dadati pratigrhanati guhyamakyati pruchyati bhungte bhojete chaiva shadvidam priti lakshanam. Prabhupada said this is a blueprint for Iskcon. What is that blueprint? You should have an opportunity to reveal your heart confidentially to another Vaishnava. Both for discussing glories of the Lord and also to be able to express the difficulties of your heart. Both. That facility must be there. So, unless these relationships are encouraged, this criminal nature will not be curtailed. All of us have criminal nature. Only circumstances will manifest that criminal nature. So, unless the heart is soft, heart is free, everyone in Kali Yuga can act like a thug or a rogue, no doubt about it. So these are a proper considerations for a beautiful administration that we can take lessons from the Srimad Bhagavatam, from the story of King Prithu. Anyone has any question or comment on what we discussed so far?
Hare Krishna. The duty of a king is to give at least minimum basic security to the people.
Basic?
Security in all the aspects. Suppose if one of our neighboring state is there, in that people are minimum security requirements and people are not in such security or any basic. So in such conditions, what is the duty of Iskcon there?
What is the duty of Iskcon?
If they don't have minimum requirements, Iskcon cannot convince the people to come into Krishna consciousness. No, Prabhuji. People are in unrest. When person is in unrest, he cannot be convinced to come into Krishna consciousness. At least if he is peace of mind is there, we can convince that such person to come into Krishna consciousness. But such a basic security is not there, then how can we also, Iskcon also can convince such people to come into Krishna consciousness? It's a big hurdle for coming into Krishna consciousness. That is the problem. How we should approach Prabhu, Iskcon people.
Not only Iskcon, but anyone, they should approach with the congregational chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. That is the only approach that we can have. In mass scale, we cannot transform people's hearts. Change of heart happens in a very classy way. But a lot of good can be awarded by chanting the Sankirtan. So, the governments are so nonsense today, what can we say? Somebody has sold in our neighboring state. They've sold, they've given contracts for 15 years, 20 years, the liquor contracts. Liquor contract is given. So all the money, advance money is taken.
25 years.
25 years, advance money is taken. That means for next 25 years, the liquor contracts are going to be with government, and the government can sell the liquor freely at whatever price they want, and nobody can do anything about it. The money has been already received. Now the government is thinking, even the meat shops, they want to be under the control of the government. Just like now in that state, no one can sell liquor, only government authorized shops. Similarly, a time will come, government authorized meat shops will come. And government authorized prostitution houses also will come. The government has taken responsibility of breaking four regulative principles, which is actually the opposite of what the administration of Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit made sure that the Kali is out, and we have a red carpet welcome for the Kali agents. So this is what is going on in different states. It's not happening only in one state. It is happening in various states in various ways. That is because who is responsible for that? We are all responsible. Who elected that government? We elected the government. How did we elect the government? By taking money for votes. 10,000, 5,000, 20,000. Take money from all the parties and then give to somebody. This is what is going on. Or a liquor bottle is given, or biryani packet is given, and money is given, so you go and then mindlessly vote for some rascals, and for next 5 years you will suffer. Not only you will suffer, but everybody else suffers. Today bribe has become a rule. You cannot get any work done properly without bribe. Every department, without giving bribe, they think it is their haq. It is their, right to take bribe. Otherwise, what will they do? They'll delay it so that you get frustrated and finally give bribe. Either give now, give later with interest. But you have to give. If that is what is the administration, what can you do? So what happened? People are giving bribe, getting works done. Now as a result, what is happening? It has a cumulative effect. What is the cumulative effect? The prices are increasing. Everything is increasing. People are not seeing the connection between prices increasing and giving bribe. Everybody is thinking, anyway these fellows are looting, let us loot our way. So Brahmanas also will loot their way. How will they loot their way? Annaprasana has to be done. 10,000 do. That is looting only. But why they had to loot? Because everybody else is looting from him in other departments. So that means whole thing becomes looty-mar. If a country becomes, what you say, full of such rascals who takes bribe or corrupt, a country becomes corrupt. In that country, nothing can be in control or order. Everything will be very volatile. Everything will be volatile. Prices, the kind of living, laws, nothing. Because everything can be purchased. You do any damn thing, throw money, get away. So that is what is going on. But this is, right now, the central government is best of the worst. They are best of the worst. Still we are able to do something. We don't know what in future, what kind of governments will come and what kind of things that they will put upon all of us. Anything else? Alright, thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Samveta Gaur Bhakta Bunda ki jai.